election mode. Have you taken some necessary clearance from Election Commission before coming here, or was it not needed?
A mission of this nature, after the test is conducted, it cannot be kept a secret technically. Look at the people who have already conducted this test, whether United States of America or China, they are all coming into public view because the satellite is tracked by many stations across the world by many people.
And the necessary permissions were taken. Okay. Asnes?
So you mentioned that the interceptor has the capability, Sir Snehesh Philip from the print. You had mentioned that the interceptor has the capability to take out targets at 1,000 kilometers, and it was deliberately put down to less than 300. So does that mean that India has the capability to take out satellites at the orbit where the international space stations are?
I said the interceptor has the capability to neutralize the satellites up to 1,000 kilometers altitude. And it is intentionally done at lower orbit of 280 kilometers to ensure that the debris decay very fast. Even the United States of America has done around 250 kilometers altitude interception for the same purpose.
Yes, the lady there.
I'm Ruchika from AFP. You must have heard the NASA statement, and while you have said that you deliberately chose to conduct the test at a lower Earth orbit, they have said that 24 of the pieces of the debris have gone above the apogee of the ISS, and NASA has sounded off huge concerns, saying that such activity is not compatible with the future of human space flight. What do you say about that?
Okay. Firstly, the mission, as I said, has been designed to see that debris decay very fast, below 300 kilometers, like United States of America, which has done at 250 kilometers. Second, the mission has been designed in such a way that minimal debris go upper. In the sense, when you look at it, when a satellite is coming like this, I can intercept like this, or I can intercept like this, or I intercept like this. If I intercept like this, the debris going up, the chances are very minimal, and the velocity of the debris will be very minimal. So that's why, as I said, it has been a complex design to see that the interception is taking place at a near collision, almost direct hit in the same plane, and so that the debris which go even this side, velocities are minimal. In spite of it, some debris which get some velocity and go up also will have minimal duration, and they take an elliptic path to go that side and come down. Second, even though the altitudes of the International Space Station and these are about 100-120 kilometers apart, but laterally, when the test actually was conducted, when we have conducted this on Bay of Bengal, the space station was in the North Atlantic Ocean over French Guiana. That's the lateral distance. And as I said, the elliptic orbit based debris, they decay fast. Even the statements from the chief administrator of NASA, when he said, there is a risk, but the risk is for about 10 days, which have already crossed the 10 days. And then the statements came from the State Department and also the Pentagon later. They stuck to the statements of the debris of 250 to 300, and they're decaying fast. In fact, most of the, some part of the debris have already decayed also. We have done extensive simulations on this subject, lot of simulations, in considering the various angles, various aspects of it, and seen that Nowhere we actually have any interception with any space asset which is available in all possible conditions. And I'm sure you will be able to see that in another 10 days, no effect on this, and none other than the Pentagon and State Department of US have also yesterday and day before yesterday have said this.
Mr. Pallav Bagla.
Satish Pallav Bagla, Science Editor, NDTV, Correspondent, Science Magazine. A couple of quick questions for you. Having done the ASAT mission Shakti test, do you think the country now needs a space command like China, USA, and Russia? And secondly, does DRDO need a specific center for space?
Firstly, DRDO has shown the technological capability of a complex mission of interception of a satellite. And we have demonstrated that, and the satellite has been intercepted, and it went everything as per the design. We don't need any tests more in this orbit now. The taking forward further from here, having space centers, space commands, it's a decision. If government needs to take the decision, and we will be working on based on the decision further.
Mr. Dubey.
Sir, this is Ajit Dubey from ANI, sir. Sir, I want to ask you about the military importance of the ASAT capability in case of hostilities with countries who also have the capability, like China, to take out satellites of other countries. They have done tests at around 900-kilometer altitude. So, can you explain to us how the capabilities, military importance in case of hostilities with adversaries?
Firstly, the space has gained very importance in the military domain. This one thing is clear. Second, when a country like India has done an exercise like this and shown the capability of interception of a target, you have shown the capability to such operations. And the best way of defense is to have a deterrence. This is a deterrence capability what has. But technologically there are many aspects. Defense itself there are many technologies, and deterrence also has many technologies. But this is a ground-based direct hit deterrence capability what country has shown. It works for the defense also.
And sir, do you need to do more tests to prove it further or improve it further?
I just now answered that it is by design, and as per the design, and it has gone and hit it. There are no probabilities in this. And so, for these orbits, we don't need one more test to be done as of now.
Mr. Manu Pabi.
Sir, Manu Pabi from Economic Times. Just to take forward Ajit's question, so you said this orbit does not need tests, but in the future do you envisage more tests for higher orbits? And secondly, sir, if you could tell us a little bit about the development cycle of it, in the sense of when was DRDO ready to do this test? You said permissions came 2 years ago, but were such capabilities existing in the past as well, sir?
Firstly, as I said, it is by design, it has gone and hit the satellite. So, for the same purpose, we don't need to do one more test. This is number one. Coming to DRDO, part of the BMD, ballistic missile defense, some basic technologies were being developed. This is one thing, background. And as we explained, in 2014, the discussions on this started. And in 2016, consolidated the discussions, and presentation was given to the highest office, and the approvals were given in 2016. And from 2016, development started. We also had a BMD test around that time also. That also has given further inputs. And the serious work has started. Configuration, missile configuration, studies, design, development of various subsystems, integration, configuration studies, and then simulations, as I said, debris-related studies, and all those things have been, extensive studies have been carried out, and missile has been integrated and brought to the launch pad for the interception. And that took about, as I said, 2 years of time for the complete development of this missile to go ahead, along with the detailed simulation studies.
Mr. Rahul Singh.
Sir, Rahul Singh this side from Hindustan Times. Sir, two quick questions, sir. Sir, number one, there have been some reports about failed test in February. If you could just elaborate a little on that. Number two, sir, you said about 150 to 200 scientists were involved in this. If you could just tell us, in the past there have been women scientists like Tessie Thomas and others. If you could tell us about the involvement of women in this project, sir.
Pardon? What is it? Could you tell us last? What did you say?
Sir, I said about 150 to 200 scientists have been involved. In the past, DRDO has had scientists like Mrs. Tessie Thomas, who is part of the Agni project. So if any, about the involvement of women in this project, women scientists.
Women involvement in this. As I said, first of all, more than 150 to 200 scientists and technicians have worked, and particularly last 6 months, there have been very hard work which they have put in. A number of women scientists have participated in this. The people who have worked on the radar software related, the telemetry related, and as I said, the scenario generation, ground computer related aspects, and many people, many women have participated in this mission. A lot of people. I would be able to state a number, maybe at least about 30 to 40 women scientists minimum would have participated out of this 150.
Mr. Rajat Pandit.
There were some reports.
See, DRDO has been doing regularly the tests with electronic targets, and we have conducted a test on 12th February against an electronic target, which has given a lot of information for us, which has been used in many applications.
Mr. Rajat Pandit.
It's a ballistic missile test against an electronic target.
Please.
Yeah, this is Rajat Pandit from Times of India. Could you tell us what are the counter space capabilities DRDO is working on?
Come again?
Could you tell us about what other counter space capabilities is DRDO working on?
There are number of technologies which are there, which in the space domain related activities, which I wouldn't be able to give in a detailed account, but as you say, when you look at the ASAT technologies itself, you have the lasers related technologies, directed energy, and the high electromagnetic energy based technologies which are required. And these are some of the technologies which are required for many other applications in the defense scenario, which we are working on those technologies. And also in the space-based some of the technologies which actually, as I said, the space has acquired importance in the military domain. Some of those technologies also which we are working, which I won't be able to divulge the details of it now.
Srinjoy.
So what is the next step? Now, do you see mass production, production, serial production of this? Have you been speaking with the government on this?
Firstly, next step for DRDO is we continue work on technology development, research and development on various technologies. Coming to this, going ahead for weaponization, it's a decision, and based on the decision, whatever required will be done by DRDO.
Ajay Banerjee.
Hi, sir. Ajay Banerjee from the Tribune. Reddy, sir, could you specify, can we hit at one point only one satellite, or do we have the capability to hit multiple satellites also?
It's a question of how many launches you have. And tracking capability you exist for many. And so you have multiple launches and multiple systems, you can have multiple engagement also. That depends on the scenario and what type of a targets you are engaging and all that, but multiple is definitely feasible.
Mr. Ajay Shukla.
Ajay Shukla, Business Standard, and my question is to Deputy NSA Pankaj Saran. There was speculation that we needed to do this test at this particular time, because there were negotiations going on in Geneva, there was a space regime being negotiated and so on, and that India feared that we might get left out as we got left out in the NPT. Could you just take us through that? What is the facts on this?
As far as the timing is concerned, I think first and foremost it was a technological and scientifically driven time frame of the test itself. Insofar as the policy aspect is concerned, India is already actively engaged in all relevant international negotiations on outer space. We are members of the governmental group of experts which met in 2018 and even last month. And this is the group of experts on prevention of the arms race in outer space. So obviously now we look forward to playing a role in the future in the drafting of international law on different aspects of outer space in our capacity as a major spacefaring nation with proven space technology. So this is how I would like to characterize it.
Okay. Didi, yes.
So this is Kunal Dutt from PTI. My first question is about the debris that you said. I'll take it from the lady from the AP. The concerns raised by NASA. Does India feel they were genuine concerns, or it was something that India felt was overblown? Number one, sir. And number two, you said the extensive simulation were conducted before the actual test. Was 300 the original target, or were there multiple levels that were tested and eventually 300 was decided to be the final target? Sir? Thank you.
Firstly, whatever the Chief Administrator of NASA has said, some debris going up could be a possibility as per the simulations also. And we actually don't have the information how many numbers what have gone. But we can, from our simulations, we can very clearly say that the possibility of hitting of ISS are not there as per the simulations. And that is proven as per the statement of the Chief Administrator of NASA. The risk is for 10 days, and 10 days are over with today. And second, this is actually corroborated by the statements of the State Department and also Pentagon, saying that there are about 250 to 270 or 300 debris which are decaying in few weeks. This is the very clear observation which has come from. The simulations wise, extensive simulations have been carried out, and the lower Earth orbit has been chosen from the simulations only, and it has been seen taking into multiple things into consideration, including the sat life, the velocities and all those things into consideration, with the primary object of the debris decaying faster below 300 kilometers altitude. Simulation always carries multiple studies and taken everything into consideration.
Mr. Dinakar Peri.
So just an add-on question to the debris, Dinakar from the Hindu. Can you put a timeline of when all the debris will be disintegrated? As in, at least the debris of concern will be disintegrated.
The simulation studies shows within about 45 days, all the debris should decay. Within about 45 days after launch, of the interception, all the debris should decay. This is the complete simulation study, and it is a internationally accepted software which has been used for the simulation. Leaving aside our own simulations, what we have carried out with our own software.
We'll take the last two questions. Yes, Sailesh.
Good afternoon, sir. Shailesh from National Defense. Sir, it's indeed a great feat, but China has capability to, launch weapons or missiles which can change orbit, and then they can literally, block other countries' satellites. So they have capabilities. Where we go further from here, it's a great test, no doubt. The second question is about the militarization of space. The Russians have a US Space Force. The US has announced to have Space Force. China has Aerospace Force. Since you are a scientist, sir, would you recommend the government to also look at the to develop technologies further from what we have achieved, sir?
DRDO being Defense Research and Development Organization, as I said, multiple technological aspects are being developed. As I said just now for another question, the anti-satellite capabilities wise, the directed energy, high power magnetic pulse, and co-orbital things, some of those are the technologies. We've multiple applications are there for these, particularly for the directed energy and electromagnetic, high energy electromagnetic pulse, which we are working for. Considering the all other applications, we are taking them into forward. Coming to the other scenario, it is a strategic decision, which taking into many things into consideration, the decisions have to be taken by the government, and we will take forward technologically whatever required by the government.
Rudro.
Rudranath Sanyal from Doordarshan. You said the biggest challenge is accuracy to the power n, and head-on collision was the key. Now, what percentage of this effort is indigenous, and what is that inherent strength of Indian scientists?
A good question. In the sense, as I said, the challenge is very high velocity. When you acquire that by a seeker, the time available for you to correct yourself and go through it and hit it is very short. Even though we say about 200 kilometers and beyond, as you have a relative velocity of about 10 kilometers per second, the time available for you for the terminal guidance is about less than 20 seconds, and you have to go and hit it. Now, the precision guidance and the strapped-on IR seeker, they play a major role, and they have gone and hit it at less than 10 centimeters from the geometric center of that satellite. The indigenous content of all this equipment, what we have been used, all the systems are indigenous, number one. The content of the indigenous content is above 90%. Some of the devices which are not available in the country out of various foundries and things like that, not available, have only been used from outside. All the systems have been developed indigenously here in the systems, and scientists have worked on it, designed, developed the systems, and industry has produced many of them.
One last question we'll take. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Ashish Singh from NewsX and India News. I have two short questions, one for Dr. Reddy and one for Saran, sir. Sir, you mentioned that in the current orbit, we need not go for any further tests in terms of confirmation. What are the other orbits in terms of height and range that we are looking at now in terms of developing it further? The next orbit, the other orbits. To Pankaj Saran, sir, there been a lot of reports that we were keeping US and few other countries in loop about it. Was there any process before the test was done, or on the day the test was done?
As I said, this interceptor has the capability beyond 1,000 kilometers, and so which covers most of the LEO orbit satellites, and majority of the satellites which are used for this purposes are within this zone itself. So this should meet most of the requirements. And as I said, as per the design, everything has functioned, and so for a similar application, we don't need to do a test.
You know, we are known as a country with one of the biggest space programs in the world. And as part of this, we have very extensive international cooperation with many, many space powers. So it is part of that tradition that we keep in touch with some of our friendly partners on all major developments relating to space technology. And in that context, we were in touch with them because this is in the spirit of our ongoing cooperation. It's not a one-off event. We have so many space programs with international ramifications. So this is an ongoing, constant dialogue which simply reflects the interactive nature of this sector, which is extremely complex and requires constant international outreach and to a great extent also coordination.
Name the countries, sir, who were informed about the test?
I'm not aware of the exact countries, but as I mentioned to you, this is part of our process of outreach, and this is an ongoing process. Even today, we have been in touch. Even today, we are in touch with different countries, and as I mentioned, you have seen that in terms of the international response, only 4 countries have actually issued public statements.
Sir, there were reports that most probably NASA had stopped cooperating with US, with ISRO after the test, but now they have again resumed. Can you comment on that, sir?
Yeah, I just want to, actually, I'm glad you asked this question. You know, if you're talking of the United States, you know, the fact is, we've had statements from the United States from 4 or 5 different US government agencies. The first statement came from the US State Department. Then there was a statement from the Pentagon. Then there was a statement from their acting Secretary of Defense, Mr. Shanahan. Then there was a statement from the US Air Force Space Command in a US Senate hearing. And then there was the statement by the NASA administrator in a town hall meeting where he was addressing his own employees. So we have looked at all these statements. And as far as the government of India is concerned, the official US position is reflected in the US State Department's statement. So I would recommend that you read that statement, and that will reflect the US official position, and that is what we are basing our responses on. Insofar as your other question is concerned, I think you would have seen media reports that the NASA have conveyed to us that they are continuing with their ongoing cooperation with us, including in the human spaceflight mission.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your cooperation. Now may I request you to kindly join us for a cup of tea.
Thank you. Thank you very much, every one of you, right from the eminent scientists to the media people. Thank you. Thank you for joining us and appreciating the efforts of my scientific technicians, scientists, and everyone who have done this exercise. Thank you very much.